tonight on Game Plan.
It's always about us. It's about how we come out and the mentality we take to it.
The Saints are adjusting to success in the midst of their longest win streak in 4 years.
Are we playing our best football? No, I don't think we're playing our best football yet.
Now the Bears come to town with their own winning streak thanks to an opportunistic defense and a conservative offense choosing its moment.
Some trickery. How about that play?
We're breaking down the matchup, studying the dominance of Andrus Peat, and looking at the surprising trend that's come out of the Saints defense during their win streak. It's all on Game Plan, starting right now.
From Fox 8 Sports, this is Game Plan. Sponsored by your Southern Quality Ford dealer, built Ford tough. And the 2017 Nissan Titan, with America's best bumper-to-bumper limited truck warranty, Nissan Titan. Take on any job.
It's getting harder and harder to stay skeptical about this Saints team. They come back home this week to face the Bears, winners of 4 straight and sit atop the NFC South. Welcome to Game Plan with Juan Kincaid. I'm Sean Fazan.
Still doesn't sound quite right, leading the way in the division because they've been the most consistent team in the division after 7 weeks. It makes you wonder just how good can this team be?
I'm not going to label anything yet, but we're only 6 games into a long season. We got a lot of work cut out, ahead of us, but I like the direction we're going. I mean, to start off 0-2 and to overcome, all that speculation, and that slow start, I think says a lot. And now to rattle off 4 in a row and trying to make it 5 in a row. Listen, winning feels good, but I think the main thing is you have to ask yourself, are we playing our best football? No, I don't think we're playing our best football yet. We're doing enough things well to win, but we're not playing our best football. So I'm anxious to see what our best football looks like.
At one point this season, the Bears would have been considered one of the worst teams in the league, but then they flipped the switch when they made the switch at quarterback.
Indeed, they've won 2 out of 3 since Mitchell Trubisky has taken over. And it's a big reason why, despite Chicago's record, the Saints cannot overlook them.
Their record doesn't scare you, nor do the stats of Bears rookie starting quarterback Mitchell Trubisky. Still, he's a player that's got the Saints' respect.
He's someone we like coming out. You see the athleticism. He does a great job of throwing on the run. There's a play he makes against Baltimore 2 weeks ago on 3rd down that, they're in overtime. He climbs the pocket, kind of steps to his right, and throws one of these crossing routes, and it's pretty impressive. I think he has that moxie. I think you can see that the team has got confidence in him. I think he's only going to get better, and I think he's one of the rising stars, if you will, younger players that we're going to see a lot of good things from, I'm sure. But you can kind of see that he's very athletic, and I think they're doing a good job with some of the boots and schemes they're putting him in.
It also helps to have one of the league's best 1-2 punches at running back. Jordan Howard and Tariq Cohen have combined for almost 800 rushing yards. Cohen also leads the team in receptions with 27.
They got as good of a backfield as we'll see, man, and they're 2 different types of backs. That's what makes it difficult. So we definitely got to be aware of who's in the game and be able to, build our scheme around which back is back there.
Their defense is ranked 7th in the NFL and have a familiar face in the middle. Former Saints defensive tackle Akeem Hicks has dominated with 6 sacks and 8 tackles for loss.
He's done a great job. He's done a really great job. He's a disruptive player. He makes a ton of plays. When you turn on the film, you notice him. So that's the biggest compliment I could give to somebody is when you turn on the film, you notice a guy like that. And the road he's traveled from here to New England and then to Chicago. I mean, he certainly seems like he's found a good home, and he's doing a great job for him.
He's doing extremely well. He's very disruptive. You can see the amount of pressures that he has per game, and oftentimes he's displacing the pocket and really forcing the quarterback to make poor decisions or hurrying the quarterback. But he's having a Pro Bowl season.
Should the Saints beat the Bears, it would be their first 5-game win streak since the 2013 season.
And we remember how that season all finished up straight into the playoffs. But for the Saints to keep the winning going, it's the run first. Mitchell Trubisky has won 2 of his 3 starts because the Bears haven't asked him to do too much. They haven't put too much on his plate. Instead, head coach John Fox has asked the guys around him, specifically his running backs, to shoulder much of the load. And they've responded. Fox believes taking the pressure off of his quarterback will lead to his QB eventually being able to lead the way.
Well, I think, again, we're a work in progress. I think a lot was made of the receiver position. I think we're learning more and more about those guys each week. We made a change of quarterback 3 weeks ago. Our passing game, I think we threw the ball 11 times. We were 4-7. I think we doubled the opposing quarterback's quarterback rating. I think we were at 101. They were about 54. They threw it 30. We threw it 7. All right, so it's a different formula, but we didn't turn it over. They turned it over twice. Those are the way you win football games.
Since his first start 3 weeks ago, the loss to the Vikings, the Bears have toned down their need for him to throw the ball. And that's the one thing he has in common with Drew Brees, this season at least. When his team runs the ball more than they've thrown it, they've won.
But Sean Payton's message this week is Trubisky can make all the throws.
That's right. That's why Sean loves this kid, Sean and Sean. Sean Payton loves him so much that they kept a close eye on him leading up to the NFL draft. If he were to come out of North Carolina next year, interest from the Saints would likely be even stronger because we know they're going to start taking a look at a backup, a guy to fill in for Drew Brees eventually when he's gone.
13 games as a starter in college to the #2 overall pick. He's a pretty good player. The Saints O-line has endured multiple shifts due to injury, but through it all, Andrus Peat has been dominant. Take a look at the former #12 overall draft pick's impressive third season next.
From Fox 8 Sports, you're watching Game Plan. Sponsored by your Southern Quality Ford dealer, built Ford tough. And the 2017 Nissan Titan with America's best bumper-to-bumper limited truck warranty, Nissan Titan. Take on any job.
Cutler, as the pocket breaks down again, is going to go down from Akeem Hicks. Akeem Hicks just took down the quarterback and also at the same time took down the center, Roberto Garza.
Akeem Hicks' last sack as a member of the Saints just so happened to come in the city he now calls home, which is Chicago. This week, he'll line up against the team that drafted him. And directly across from Andrus Peat, drafted to be a right tackle, Peat was moved to right guard, then played some left tackle before finally settling in and finding success at left guard.
And it's there, Juan. He's not just grown, he's flourished. The tape don't lie. And the tape on Peat shows a player coming into his own.
On Sunday, Peat's ability to get out of his stance and into the second level of the defense on screens was on display immediately. On the first drive of the game, as Drew Brees hit Alvin Kamara, Peat quickly got out of his stance to block Josh Jones. 2 plays later, he once again sold the screen and got in front to block Jones again, allowing Kamara to gain 14. In the second quarter, on a wide receiver screen to Ted Ginn Jr., Peat was able to seal off Blake Martinez, enabling Ginn to gain 17 yards and convert a big third down. The Saints also pulled Peat often Sunday with great effectiveness. In the first quarter, Peat pulled and knocked down a pursuing Clay Matthews. Third quarter, Peat pulls again and flattens Kentrell Bryce. Fourth quarter now, Peat once again pulling. This time, linebacker Blake Martinez is his target. Peat hits him dead on. Ingram gains 8. Later in the fourth, watch Peat pull around the end and pancake Martinez to the ground. But a guard in this offense has to play with power and move opposing defensive linemen. Peat did that multiple times Sunday. Second quarter, Peat moves Kenny Clark to the left, which creates a nice lane for a 6-yard gain by Ingram. And in the fourth quarter, Peat literally drives Clark straight back as Ingram gains 4 yards.
And remember, when the 2015 draft rolled around, fans were not so sure about the Andrus Peat selection. 3 years later, here he is playing good football.
A guy that can play all over that line, but he's settled in at the guard spot. Meanwhile, the right side of the offensive line will be worth paying attention to on Sunday. That's where change is necessary. Larry Warford's out for the foreseeable future with an injury. The good news is the player that's filling in has done it many times before at multiple positions along the offensive line. Senio Calamete has been the Saints' Swiss Army knife. Whenever a player goes down, he steps in, and the team doesn't miss a beat. And they're expecting more of the same this Sunday.
Well, he's just someone that has been able to plug into different spots. Since I've been here, he's been a center, he's been a guard, he's played left tackle, he's played snaps at right tackle. That's unusual for an offensive lineman.
It's not very often that a team can turn to a backup along the offensive line and not miss a beat, but in Calamete, the fact that he's been here a while now and filled in often makes it easier for the coaching staff to call on him when they need him, and they're going to need him this Sunday.
One word: reliable. That's what Senio Calamete is. Still to come, the Bears are 3-4, but could they be a dangerous opponent this week? Josh Katzenstein of NOLA.com, the Times-Picayune, joins us in studio next to discuss.
From Fox 8 Sports, you're watching Game Plan. Sponsored by your Southern Quality Ford dealer, built Ford tough. And the 2017 Nissan Titan, with America's best bumper-to-bumper limited truck warranty, Nissan Titan. Take on any job.
Joined now by Josh Katzenstein of NOLA.com and the Times-Picayune, and the Saints are on a roll, but is this a trap game in the making, a dangerous Bears team?
I said that about the Packers last week just because they were getting Brett Hundley instead of Aaron Rodgers, and you'd think, you know, oh, maybe the Saints will overlook, you know, what Hundley can do and get caught in that trap, but I really don't think that's the case here. I mean, it's going to be probably a pretty similar game to last week. I think you're going to see a Bears offense that's going to really try to establish the run because, you know, Jordan Howard's a good player, Tariq Cohen's a good player, but ultimately I just don't think they have the weapons at receiver to really put a lot of pressure on the Saints defense that has been balling, you know, the past 4 games. And I think, you know, that the Bears defense is pretty solid, but I just think, you know, the Saints probably have too many weapons.
Well, I don't think it's a trap game. I think they're well aware of the Bears. They've won 2 straight. They've won 2 out of 3. But I think when you look at what the Bears defense has versus what the Saints offense can bring, I think it's a pretty good matchup. I really do. I think this is a team that is capable of beating the Saints, at least from their defense versus the Saints offense. Now, the other side of the ball, I think I agree with you. I think the Saints defense is playing really well right now, but and the Bears lack weapons on the edge. They have 2 good running backs and a rookie quarterback, but they lack weapons on the edge, so maybe that's a good advantage for them. But I think ultimately this is going to be a pretty good game, and maybe it goes the same way, and the Saints are really going to have to make some plays here to get victory. And they've done a pretty good job of maintaining a good mindset from week to week of, you know, not just, you know, we won 4 straight, we're going to win 5. It's a week to week. The new challenge is here. Last week is over.
And the challenge of winning at home is still there. So Larry Warford, the guard, is going to be out for a considerable amount of time, it seems. That's a big loss to its offensive line, especially against a Bears defense that's pretty stout.
Yeah, look, I think this is an injury to really monitor because if it lingers into November, late November, into December, that could be an issue. You know, the Saints have had issues on their offensive line, but it's been on the edge with tackles. To have one on the interior, that's significant because, as we all know, Drew Brees, it's inside out on his protection, especially when it comes to pass pro. Larry Warford has been rock solid. Senio Calamete has been good in spot duty, but as a starter for a long term, maybe some of his weaknesses can get exposed. So we'll see what happens. Senio Calamete has done a valiant job kind of filling in, but now if he's going to be the guy for the next couple of weeks, it's going to be a challenge.
Yeah, I mean, you always have to deal with injuries. You just hope that they come at the right time or that they're not, you know, so significant. And the timing on this is the worst because the Bears, probably their biggest strength on defense is their interior defensive line with, you know, Eddie Goldman and Akeem Hicks, who the Saints are obviously familiar with. And I think when you take a slight downgrade or any level of downgrade at a guard spot, you know, that really just alters everything along the offensive line. I mean, I think we might see, you know, the tackles trying to help out, you know, on the interior, using the tight ends a little bit more because I don't think the Bears' edge defenders are quite to that level. So they'll find ways to do that, and I think, you know, this might be a game where we see Mark Ingram and Alvin Kamara doing a lot more outside running or a lot more outside screens as opposed to inside stuff, you know, so the Saints can counteract that. But certainly Warford has been incredibly consistent this season, and I think, you know, however long he's out, it's definitely going to be a detriment to that offense.
Let's get to some viewer questions then from our Final Play app and the final word feature on that one. This one comes from Sam Robbins in Lake Charles. Pretty good question. We haven't seen him on the field very much, Kikaha. Do we trade Kikaha for Martavis Bryant with the Steelers to help out the wide receiver area?
I mean, I like the idea in theory, but no. Yeah, I mean, they don't need Martavis Bryant. Like, they have a bunch of good weapons, and I think, you know, this is an issue that we talked about when Kenny Vaccaro was reportedly on the trade block a few weeks ago. It was before week 2 when he actually got benched, but he's been balling since then. if you trade Kikaha, all of a sudden your alleged depth at that position goes away, because if you have one injury, then you're down to 3 defensive ends. And yeah, I mean, obviously you want to get some value for a guy, but I think, you know, the thing about these trades, all the other teams have the tape, and if the Saints aren't pleased with what Kikaha has been doing, I would be surprised to see that another team is willing to give up, you know, something significant for him. So I think, you know, you just have to ride it out. Hope he gets better as he gets more in the flow, because, I mean, he missed a full year, and it takes some time to recover from those ACLs, especially when you've had 3. So I don't think, you know, that's going to happen. But certainly if the Steelers called and made that offer, the Saints would say yes, because, I mean, it's Martavis Bryant.
That's just it. Would the Steelers make that offer? I mean, it sounds great. It's a great question, but I mean, come on. I mean, would they call? It's just that easy. Well, let's trade Martavis Bryant.
Well, if he's disgruntled, I mean,
Kikaha. I get it. But look, I think there's some truth to the report that maybe the Saints would be interested in shopping a guy like Kikaha, because he's a good character guy and is productive when healthy. But that's just it. He hasn't necessarily been healthy, and he's kind of fallen behind the pack a little bit, and what's become a pretty deep defensive line. So I understand why the reports are out there. I don't see that happening.
This other question comes from Cornelius and Marrero, cruising down the street. Would it be a logical thing for the Seahawks to even consider trading Jimmy Graham back to the Saints? Doing so would pretty much solidify the Saints' playoff spot. Not only that, but possibly NFC champs. We know that Jimmy Graham had his best years in black and gold, and we know that even before he got traded to Seattle, they didn't get along with him there. They didn't like him. Remember the fight they caused up in Seattle? And so he has not been the same player there he was here. Would they trade for him back?
Not the player he's... look, I keep looking for the Jimmy Graham moment in Seattle, because that's the one player. I check his stats literally every week, because I want to see, did this trade work for both sides? And I am convinced that the Saints have won this trade with Max Unger. What essentially ended up being Max Unger for Jimmy Graham. And I know Stephon Anthony was in that mix, but still, I still think the Saints have won this trade. I mean, look, I saw that report. I really don't know what site it was from, but would the Saints be interested? They certainly have a need for a pass-catching tight end, but I don't know if that would ever happen. But if that were to happen, all of a sudden, an offense that can get explosive, all of a sudden gets a whole lot more explosive. But I'll say this, he has not been the same player since he left Drew Brees, which kind of happens a lot with these skill position players right now.
A lot of players leave here and aren't the same player that they were when they were here under Brees.
I wouldn't even call whatever we saw online on Wednesday a report necessarily. I had a friend who texted me, he's like, is this fake news? I'm like, yeah, like it just doesn't make any sense. And I mean, but here's the thing, I'm not basing this on any reporting or anything, but I think we could see a Jimmy Graham reunion eventually, because he'll be a free agent at the end of the year, and that in and of itself is probably a reason why we can just assume the Saints wouldn't trade for him, because if you trade for him now, you're giving up an asset to get someone who might only be here for a couple months. You know, you can't guarantee that he'll re-sign, so I think, you know, in their best interest, you know, maybe things with Fleener continue going south, and then they just go out on the open market. They're like, let's get Jimmy Graham back. I think that would make a lot of sense, and it would definitely help the offense. He might not be the player that he once was, but he certainly, I would think, with his rapport with Brees, would be an upgrade.
They've got 3 tight ends on the roster right now, and all 3 are playing pretty well, but none of them have played like Jimmy Graham played when he was here. Josh Katzenstein from NOLA.com and the Times-Picayune. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
From Vernon Davis to Rob Gronkowski, with plenty of Greg Olsen in the middle, the Saints have a long history of allowing tight ends to run wild on them. But Chris Hagan looks at the drastic turnaround the defense has made in that department in this week's Extra Point. That's next.
Keys to the Game is sponsored by your Southern Quality Ford dealer. From Fox 8 Sports, you're watching Game Plan. Sponsored by your Southern Quality Ford dealer, built Ford tough. And the 2017 Nissan Titan, with America's best bumper-to-bumper limited truck warranty, Nissan Titan. Take on any job.
Keys to the game this week. Beware of the Bears' ability to score from unlikely sources. In rookie Mitch Trubisky's 3 starts, the defense has accounted for more touchdowns than the #2 overall pick has. Chicago has also gotten passing touchdowns from punter Pat O'Donnell and running back Tariq Cohen, who became the first player shorter than 5'7" to throw a touchdown pass since Willie Smith back in 1934. Oddly enough, no rushing scores during that time period. While the Saints keep racking up wins on the football field, some of their players have helped fantasy football teams earn victories as well.
Chris Hagan says if you have these Houdatts, keep them in your starting lineup. It's all in this week's Extra Point.
As we roll into Week 8, your fantasy football team's probably been rolling if you have Mark Ingram or Alvin Kamara. In some cases, if you have both on your team, you could start them both and still come out very productive overall. That's because within the Saints' slightly more conservative offense, they're benefiting from being more of the focal point of attack. Against the Lions, the first 5 plays were all either runs by or passes to Ingram or Kamara. In Green Bay, that was the case for the first 8 plays. It sends a clear message that those two will be involved early and often. Both are also near the top of the league in several statistical categories, especially Ingram. Among running backs that have played at least 6 games, he's ranked 8th, averaging just more than 92 yards per game. And with his improved ability as a receiver and primary role as a runner, Ingram's ranked 11th when it comes to carries and targets. Simply put, Saints running backs are no longer to be ignored among the fantasy football ranks. They're at the top. As for this week's matchup, I'd go with more Saints players in my starting lineup than Bears. The way that Aaron Jones ran last week for Green Bay, I do like Chicago running back Jordan Howard's chances to get going. Tariq Cohen, though, I'm not a fan of. His production hasn't come close to what it was in Chicago's first 2 games, where he eclipsed 40 points in PPR leagues. If you're thinking of starting Bears tight end Zach Miller, think again. Over the last 4 games combined, the Saints have allowed opposing tight ends just 8 catches for 89 yards and 1 touchdown. It's been remarkable. As for the Saints, I've underestimated the Ted Ginn Jr. effect. He's become a big piece of the Saints' passing game, and with his big playability and speed, I think it continues even if Willie Snead returns. Consider him a good flex with a high ceiling if he finds the end zone. Yes, the Bears did hold Carolina to just 3 points last week, but I'd look at the whole season's work as the true tell. Drew Brees and the Saints are bound to break out of their slump, if you can even call it that, and I think at home in the Dome this week, they're ripe to have a huge day for the black and gold and your fantasy football team. Reporting for Game Plan, I'm Chris Hagan.
Our coverage certainly doesn't stop here. Lots more on Fox 8 News Friday and Saturday, and then Sunday it's the game day routine. Fox 8 Live Tailgate begins a day full of football on our air, including the Saints kicking off at noon. Our reports begin on Fox 8 News at 9, leading up to the final play at 10:30.
Be sure to tune in for Fox 8 Football Friday at 10:35 as Chris Hagan and I take you around the state for all the great prep action here in Louisiana. Until then, thank you for watching Game Plan, and thanks to everyone here at Fox 8 for their contributions. Our next newscast is bright and early at 4:30 in the morning. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
From Fox 8 Sports, this has been Game Plan, sponsored by your Southern Quality Ford dealer, built Ford tough, and the 2017 Nissan Titan with America's best bumper-to-bumper limited truck warranty. Nissan Titan, take on any job.